Mike Moore Media.
It's our monthly program with Rockingham County Government, and today I'm talking to Derek Southern, who is Director of Information Technology for Rockingham County Government. Derek, how are you? Good to talk with you.
Doing well, thank you.
Good. Now, let's talk about the Broadband project that we're hearing so much about and the whole process behind it, how that got started, where we are, and where we're going. So for those that may not know, this is far-reaching. So let's start at the beginning, Derek. Take us through it, please.
So the program that we're running today, that is the partnership with the Rockingham County Government, Rockingham County Schools, Rockingham Community College, and Reedsville Area Foundation, is tagged by the name of Connect Rockingham. And it's a project that started nearly 4 years ago with the direction of our commissioners, trying to provide broadband internet to the rural parts of our county that were either lacking internet at all or in areas where internet was at speeds that were not adequate for them to work, provide adequate remote health care, and or children do their schoolwork. So over the years, we've worked with different partners trying to find a solution and that would work for all of our areas throughout the county. And we've just been unable to find the funding and the vendor backing to reach into these remote areas due to the low areas of population density. But recently, with some of the money that is coming down from the federal government in the state budget that passed in November of 2021, it allowed county government to utilize those funds to go into a partnership with vendors. So at that time, we reached out and sent out a request to vendors to provide a proposal that would provide internet to any of the areas that do not have adequate internet within the county. And that is defined by the federal government as 25 meg down and 3 meg up. So we're only able to fund projects for areas that do not have speeds of 25 meg down and 3 up. So we received 4 different proposals, and after reviewing those proposals, Spectrum Southeast was the vendor that provided the best solution for our overall county. They provided internet that would be throughout all of the areas of the county. Some of our vendors only focused on maybe a quarter or a third of the county, but Spectrum's solution provided it with a backbone throughout the entire county. So where we are today is we have the list of address points, and we have publicized those on our county website. That is www.rockinghamcountync.gov/broadband, and you are able to look up your address point to see if you're part of this initial phase of this project. And if you're unable to get on the internet, you can always call in, and we can collect your information and provide you that. And that number is 336-394-0062. As part of this, the initial phase is these known areas that we know lack internet. Spectrum has agreed to provide broadband, which is fiber internet, to these homes by January of 2024. So it's a very tight timeline of 2 years. Mm-hmm. What we have discovered already early in this process is there's many addresses that are not part of this initial phase for various different reasons. It was an unknown address to Spectrum when they did the searches, or another vendor may be saying that we provide internet to that home even though they may not. So we are collecting those addresses, and at a point at the end of 2023, we will provide all other addresses that are not part of this project that we've discovered. In fact, Spectrum will have a second phase to provide internet within 2 years of that time to the addresses that we find along the way. So that's kind of the gist of how we got where we are and where we are today.
And this is exciting right to this point, isn't it, Derek? Because looking at the need that's there and meeting it, we're looking at how many addresses, Derek, approximately?
Addresses in the initial phase is a minimum of 3,200. In our first 2 weeks since we've announced this, we've already discovered several more than that will most likely be part of this initial phase, but we just have to iron those details out with the construction team of Spectrum in the coming weeks and months.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But a minimum of 3,200 address points. And
as you've explained, those will be changing as you work your way through the project here. And give us an idea of the amount of money involved, because it's quite a large number, isn't it, to get this done? It is. The overall initial phase, and we're not considering the addresses that we find along the way. The initial phase was $14.4 million. Spectrum is contributing 10.4 of that million of that fund. So they're putting in roughly 70% of the funding. The county government, RCC, Rockingham County Schools, and Reedsville Area Foundation are contributing the $4 million to that initial phase. As part of those four partners, we have an additional $2 million in funding in a contingency plan for addresses that we find as we go through this project. This is going to connect Rockingham County in a big way, isn't it? It is. This is leveling the playing field. There's a lot of residents in rural areas in Rockingham County. That's what we pride ourselves in. But they just didn't have access to broadband internet. So this is one of the first of a kind for a rural county like we are in Rockingham County, in North Carolina. Well, again, it's great when Rockingham County leads the way in things like this. That's always exciting. And we're looking at how this touches economic development and education and all of those things. It's far-reaching, isn't it? It is. It is. We've talked to many people over the last several years, and in education, as you see, two of our partners are in the education field. Mm-hmm. Reedsville Area Foundation is looking for care of citizens and making sure they have adequate medical care and access to remotely work. So it is. There will be no one not impacted by this. Yeah. Okay. All right. I appreciate the update on this. We're excited about what's happening for Rockingham County, affecting so many people with Connect Rockingham. Is there anything else you wanted to mention? There is one other thing, and I want people to understand as we go through this process is we will be researching addresses, and there will be some that various different reasons may not receive it. But there's also two other grants that are active in the county now, ran by the federal government. They're called the RDOF grants, and Spectrum and SpaceX are involved in those. So even though you may not see your address on this list, you may as well be on another list for another grant that's active in the county. Mm-hmm. Okay. So the work is underway now, and as you mentioned a little bit ago, this is really, when you're looking at a project this broad, no pun intended, it's really a small timeline in getting it accomplished, it sounds like. It is. It really is. Okay. So, again, give us the phone number again, and give us the website where we can connect and get more information. If someone is unable to connect online and do an address search, they can always give us a call at 336-394-0062. And the website to do the address search and always stay on top of the latest information for Connect Broadband is www.rockinghamcountync.gov/broadband. Excellent. Okay. Well, I know you're getting some really positive feedback too, aren't you, already? Yes, we are. It's been interesting. I've talked to some citizens for the 5 years that I've been here, and it was very nice to make a phone call the other day to tell someone that I've talked to for 5 years that they are part of a plan that they will finally receive internet. Oh, wow. That is great news. Okay. Well, Derek, thank you for sharing this good news with us. I appreciate it, and perhaps we can talk again along the way and get an update as this all rolls out. I appreciate it. All right. Thank you very much. Okay. Have a good week. Bye. Bye. All right. There you get a first-hand report on the broadband project, getting internet access across Rockingham County. Connect Rockingham. Derek Southern is the Director of Information Technology for the county. A lot of partners involved in that, as you heard, and Rockingham Area Foundation, Rockingham Community College, Rockingham County Schools, Rockingham County Government, all of those. Spectrum, more than a $14 million project initially for Connect Rockingham. So let me give you those contact points again. The phone number, 336-394-0062, if you have any questions. And then that's rockinghamcountync.gov/broadband. And remember, like we always say, you're in a good place in Rockingham County.